The vast emptiness of space held a tension that could be cut with a knife. Captain Jihoon Park stood quietly on the bridge of the USS Defiance, his dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that flickered with silent warnings. Earth had been under surveillance by alien civilizations for decades, but no one on the planet knew just how close they were to a massive confrontation. The alien confederation believed humans were nothing more than a primitive species, confined to their small, blue planet and struggling with basic space exploration. They saw humanity as weak, divided, and technologically insignificant. Their intelligence reports suggested an easy conquest, a simple extermination of a species that hadn't yet learned the true complexities of interstellar warfare. What they didn't understand was the human capacity for adaptation and surprise. Jihoon's fingers moved across the holographic interface, pulling up classified military reports and strategic analysis. The ship around him was unlike anything the aliens had ever encountered. Built in secret deep within the mountain facilities of Colorado, the USS Defiance represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement. The ship's quantum slip drive was a technology so revolutionary that even most humans were unaware of its existence. It allowed instantaneous movement across vast distances, breaking every known law of physics that alien civilizations understood. And Jihoon was its first true commander. His crew was carefully selected, not just for their technical skills, but for their ability to think differently. Yuna Kim, the tactical AI specialist, sat to his left. Her algorithms could predict movement patterns with a precision that bordered on supernatural. To his right, Lieutenant Seok Jin Lee monitored the ship's advanced weapon systems, each of which was a closely guarded secret. The alien confederation had been gathering their fleet for months. Massive ships larger than small cities, equipped with weapons that could obliterate entire planetary systems. They believed their technological superiority guaranteed victory. They had no concept of human determination. Jihoon remembered the briefings, how humanity had been watching and waiting, preparing in silence. Every technological breakthrough, every small advancement in quantum mechanics, artificial intelligence, and military strategy had been leading to this moment. The aliens thought they were hunting humans. In reality, humans had been hunting them. The ship's AI system began to pulse with a soft blue light. Diagnostic checks were running continuously, ensuring every system was prepared for the upcoming confrontation. The quantum disruptors were charged, the stealth systems were online, and the computational power of the Defiance was beyond anything the aliens could comprehend. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, stars moved like distant memories. The silence was absolute, broken only by the soft hum of advanced technology that seemed to breathe with a life of its own. Jihoon knew that in moments, everything would change. The alien confederation had no idea what was coming. They had prepared for a massive human fleet, expecting a traditional military engagement. Instead, they would face something entirely unexpected, a single ship that represented the culmination of human innovation, strategy, and an unbreakable spirit. Jihoon adjusted his uniform, a simple black tactical suit that seemed unremarkable, but was actually embedded with advanced nanotechnology. His hand rested casually near the communication interface. Soon, they would emerge from quantum slip drive, and the galaxy would learn a lesson about underestimating humanity. One ship, one crew, an entire alien confederation about to discover that humanity was nothing like they had imagined. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath, waiting. The quantum slip drive hummed with an otherworldly energy as the USS Defiance emerged from its dimensional fold. Space around the ship seemed to ripple and distort, then quickly stabilize. Alien sensors immediately picked up the unexpected arrival, their massive communication networks lighting up with confusion and then rapid alert signals. Yuna Kim's fingers flew across her holographic interface, tracking the initial response of the alien fleet. Her eyes remained calm, almost detached as she processed hundreds of communication channels simultaneously. The alien confederation had expected a massive human fleet. Instead, they found a single ship appearing in the middle of their staging area. Captain Jihoon Park stood completely still, watching the first reactions unfold. The alien ships were massive. Each one could easily dwarf several city blocks. Their metallic surfaces gleamed with technological complexity that spoke of centuries of advanced engineering. But something was different about this moment. The aliens seemed more confused than threatened. "Tactical analysis," Jihoon called softly. Yuna's voice was equally calm. 17 primary vessels in immediate scanning range. Defensive formations are uncertain. They're not sure how to respond to a single ship. The communication channels erupted with alien languages. Translation algorithms worked overtime, converting the rapid exchanges into readable text on the side screens. Most messages contained variations of disbelief and mockery. They saw one human ship and immediately assumed it was a mistake or a suicide mission. Lieutenant Seok Jin Lee monitored the weapon systems. Each quantum disruptor was charged and ready but not activated. They weren't here to start a fight, they were here to end one decisively. The ship's advanced AI continually calculated potential engagement scenarios, running millions of simulations per second. Outside the ship's reinforced windows, the alien fleet began to move. Their initial confusion was transforming into a somewhat relaxed positioning. They saw the human ship as nothing more than an insignificant interruption, a minor technical glitch in their perfect invasion plan. Jihoon knew better. Every movement of the Defiance had been calculated with precision that would seem like magic to the aliens. Their quantum computational systems could predict and counter strategies before the aliens even considered them. This wasn't just a ship, it was a strategic nightmare for the alien confederation. The first communication from the alien fleet came through. It was more a broadcast of ridicule than a serious message. Translation algorithms quickly processed the content. Lone human vessel. Surrender or be destroyed. Your technological inferiority is noted. Yuna's lips curved into a slight smile. The aliens had no idea what was coming. The Defiance moved with a grace that seemed impossible for its size. Each micro-adjustment was a result of computational precision that bordered on prescience. The ship didn't just move, it anticipated. Where traditional vessels would make obvious maneuvers, this ship seemed to exist in multiple potential positions simultaneously. Seok Jin's voice broke the silence. Weapon systems are at 100% capacity. Quantum disruptors are online. Stealth systems are fully functional. Jihoon nodded. The moment was building, like a silent storm about to break. The alien fleet continued to position themselves, believing they were preparing for an easy elimination of a single human ship. They were arranging themselves in classic invasion formations, completely unaware that every single movement was being predicted and was already being countered. One ship against an entire alien confederation. The odds looked impossible. But Jihoon knew something the aliens didn't. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Every technological breakthrough, every small advancement in quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence had been leading to this exact moment. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath. The alien fleet continued their preparations, completely unaware that the true battle was about to begin. And it would be nothing like they expected. The alien communication channels erupted with a mixture of laughter and contempt. Their massive command ships surrounded the lone human vessel, each one capable of destroying entire planetary systems with a single blast. Captain Jihoon Park remained absolutely calm, his hands resting lightly on the ship's control interface. "Tactical positioning," he called softly. Yuna Kim's fingers danced across her holographic display. Millions of computational scenarios were running simultaneously, each one calculating potential engagement strategies. The alien fleet believed they were preparing for a simple elimination. They were wrong. The first wave of alien communication was pure mockery. Translation algorithms converted their language into readable text. Single human vessel, primitive technology, surrender immediately, or face total destruction. Jihoon's eyes narrowed. Each word was another piece of strategic information. The Defiance moved with an impossible grace. Where traditional vessels would make obvious maneuvers, This ship seemed to exist in multiple potential positions simultaneously. The quantum slip drive technology allowed for movements that defied traditional understanding of space and time. Lieutenant Seok-Jin Lee monitored the weapon systems. Quantum disruptors hummed with potential energy, waiting for the precise moment of engagement. The ship's advanced AI was calculating responses faster than the alien fleet could even process their own movements. Alien sensor systems began tracking the human ship's movements. They expected predictable patterns, standard military approaches. Instead, they found something entirely different. The Defiance didn't move like a traditional warship. It moved like a living entity, anticipating and countering before any actual threat emerged. Preparing initial response, Yuna announced. The first shots came not from weapons but from computational warfare. The Defiance's AI began systematically disrupting alien communication networks. Signals became scrambled. Navigation systems started experiencing unexplained interference. The massive alien ships began to lose their precise coordination. Ji-hoon watched the tactical display. Each alien ship was a complex machine, built with centuries of technological advancement. But they had one fundamental weakness. They relied completely on centralized communication and control. The human ship was attacking their most vulnerable point. Target their primary communication nodes. Ji-hoon's voice was calm, almost conversational. Quantum disruptors fired. But these weren't traditional energy weapons. These were computational attacks that traveled faster than light, disrupting the very fabric of the alien ship's operational systems. Navigation became impossible. Communication became fragmented. The alien fleet's initial confidence began to crack. Their massive ships, once looking invincible, started to show signs of confusion. Some began to drift. Others started firing wildly. Their targeting systems completely compromised. Yuna's voice was clinical. 63% of primary communication networks are now offline. Alien fleet coordination has been severely disrupted. It wasn't a traditional battle. This was computational warfare taken to its ultimate expression. The Defiance wasn't just fighting, it was systematically dismantling the alien fleet's ability to function as a unified force. Seok-Jin monitored the weapon systems. Quantum disruptors at maximum efficiency. We're neutralizing their systems faster than they can adapt. The alien fleet had prepared for a massive human invasion. They expected traditional warfare, massive ships, direct confrontations, predictable strategies. Instead, they found themselves facing a single vessel that was destroying their entire operational capability without firing a single traditional weapon. Ji-hoon watched the tactical display. Each moment was a complex dance of computational precision. The alien confederation was discovering something they had never considered: humanity's true technological potential. Continue disruption protocols, Ji-hoon commanded. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath. The massive alien fleet, once looking invincible, was being systematically dismantled by a single human ship, and they had no idea how to respond. The first contact was nothing like anyone had expected. It wasn't about firepower. It was about intelligence, computational warfare, the ability to see beyond traditional understanding of conflict. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. In less than 17 minutes, everything changed. The USS Defiance moved through the alien fleet like a phantom, its computational systems working faster than any known technology in the galaxy. Captain. Ji-hoon Park watched the tactical display with calculating precision, each movement a carefully planned sequence of mathematical destruction. The alien ships began to lose their sophisticated coordination. Where moments before they had been a unified force of technological superiority, now they became a confused mass of metallic hulks drifting aimlessly. Yuna Kim's fingers continued their complex dance across the holographic interfaces, each touch dismantling another layer of alien defensive systems. Quantum disruption at 72% efficiency, Lieutenant Seok-Jin Lee announced, his voice steady and clinical. The ship's weapon systems were unlike anything the alien confederation had ever encountered. These weren't traditional energy weapons or missile systems. They were computational attacks that traveled faster than light, breaking down communication networks, navigation systems, and strategic coordination with surgical precision. Alien commanders watched in growing horror as their most advanced technological systems became useless. Their massive ships, each capable of destroying entire planetary systems, were being neutralized by computational attacks that seemed to predict and counter every possible defensive maneuver. Ji-hoon understood something fundamental that the aliens had missed. Warfare wasn't about raw power anymore. It was about intelligence, adaptability, the ability to think beyond traditional combat strategies. The Defiance moved between alien vessels like a ghost. Each micro-movement was calculated to maximize computational disruption. Navigation systems failed. Communication networks collapsed. Defensive protocols became meaningless lines of corrupted code. Yuna's voice cut through the tension. Primary alien fleet networks are now 85% compromised. They cannot coordinate any meaningful defensive strategy. The tactical brilliance wasn't just in the attack. It was in the complete psychological dismantling of the alien confederation's belief in their own superiority. They had prepared for a massive human fleet. Instead, they found themselves defeated by a single ship that understood warfare as a computational chess match. Lieutenant Seok-jin continued monitoring the systems. Quantum disruptors hummed with potential energy, each pulse capable of breaking down the most advanced technological defenses in the known galaxy. The aliens had no defense against this type of warfare. Ji-hoon watched the tactical display. Each alien ship was becoming nothing more than a massive, drifting piece of metal. Their complex systems reduced to nothing more than expensive space, debris. The psychological impact was as devastating as the technological attack. "Continue disruption protocols," Ji-hoon commanded, his voice calm and measured. The alien communication channels became a chaotic mess of confused signals and desperate attempts to restore coordination. But each attempt was quickly neutralized by the Defiance's advanced AI systems. It was like watching a highly sophisticated computer virus systematically destroy a network. Yuna's computational systems were running millions of potential scenarios per second. Each alien movement was predicted, countered, and neutralized before it could even be fully formulated. The ship wasn't just fighting, it was thinking several steps ahead of an entire alien civilization. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath. What was happening wasn't just a battle. It was a complete redefinition of technological warfare. In less than 20 minutes, the alien confederation's invasion plans had been completely dismantled, not through traditional weapons, not through massive fleet engagements, but through pure computational brilliance. Lieutenant Seok-jin's final announcement came with a hint of professional satisfaction. "Alien fleet defensive capabilities, 0%. We are ready for final engagement." Ji-hoon nodded. The tactical brilliance wasn't just in the attack. It was in the complete demonstration of humanity's true potential. One ship, one crew, an entire alien confederation about to learn a lesson about underestimating human intelligence. The battle was far from over, but the outcome was already decided. The silence was deafening. 73% of the alien invasion fleet lay disabled, their massive hulls drifting like abandoned metal sculptures against the dark canvas of space. Captain Ji-hoon Park stood motionless, his hand hovering above the communication interface. "Transmission, ready," Yuna Kim announced, her voice precise and clinical. The Alien Confederation's leadership channels were still active, though completely compromised. Millions of communication pathways now ran through the Defiance's advanced computational systems. They were listening, they were watching, and they were terrified. Ji-hoon's message was simple and direct. "Retreat, or be destroyed." Lieutenant Seok-jin. Lee monitored the weapon systems. Quantum disruptors hummed with potential energy, each pulse capable of reducing entire alien vessels to molecular dust, but no additional shots were needed. The psychological warfare was complete. The alien communication networks erupted in panic. Translation algorithms picked up desperate exchanges, confusion, fear, disbelief. They had prepared for a massive human invasion. Instead, They found themselves defeated by a single ship that understood warfare as a complex mathematical equation. Alien commanders realized they had gravely underestimated humanity. The Defiance moved with impossible grace, positioning itself as a silent threat among the disabled fleet. Each movement was a calculated demonstration of technological superiority that defied everything the Alien Confederation understood about space combat. UNA's computational systems continued running, millions of scenarios per second. Each potential alien response was already predicted, analyzed, and could be neutralized before it could be fully formulated. The ship wasn't just defending, it was demonstrating absolute technological dominance. Communication channel stable, Seokjin reported. Alien fleet leadership is processing our message. Jihoon watched the tactical display. The stars outside seemed to hold their breath. What was happening wasn't just a battle. It was a complete redefinition of technological warfare and interstellar conflict. The Alien Confederation's most advanced vessels now looked like nothing more than expensive space debris. Their sophisticated defense systems had been systematically dismantled by computational attacks that moved faster than light, breaking down communication networks and navigation systems with surgical precision. Minutes passed. The silence grew more intense. Then a response came. Fragmented, confused, defeated. The alien leadership was requesting terms of surrender. Jihoon's response was immediate and clear. Total withdrawal from human-controlled space. Complete non-aggression, agreements. Permanent communication restrictions. UNA's computational systems verified every detail of the surrender protocols. Each clause was analyzed, each potential loophole closed with mathematical precision. Lieutenant Seokjin confirmed. The final computational handshake. The surrender was now a matter of galactic record. One ship, one crew. An entire Alien Confederation neutralized. The message was clear. Humanity was not to be underestimated. As the disabled alien fleet began its retreat, the Defiance remained perfectly positioned, a silent guardian representing a species that had just changed the understanding of technological warfare forever. Captain Jihoon Park allowed himself a slight smile. The battle was over. But humanity's true journey was just beginning. The stars continued their silent watch, witnesses to a moment that would be remembered throughout the galaxy.